If you are a true Thomas fan like me, what is your favorite Thomas toy of all time? Well, one of my absolute favorites is Thomas Wooden Railway, which came out in the early 1990s. The very first item I have from that range was the original 1996 release of Caldy. I loved it so much that I started to collect more and more for many years. Sadly, in 2017, there weren't a lot of new wooden railway items, aside from a few, like Hugo, the German rail zeppelin. But when I heard on Twitter that Mattel was planning to make more new wooden trains in the later half of the year, I was pretty excited, and my hopes were high. But unfortunately, my hopes went all the way down when I heard this horrifying news on the Wooden Railway Wiki. When I first heard this news online, I was furious. Not only they're going to change the engine models again, but they're also going to change the track connectors as well as the title itself. I thought the newer take-and-play models of late 2014 were bad. Then I thought Trackmaster Revolution was bad. But this takes the cake. So that's why I'm doing a top 8 reasons about why I hate Thomas Wood so much. So here we go. Number 1. The lack of paint in various places. I can understand that Mattel might be doing this for cost considerations, but at the same time, it's just freaking lazy. When some of us, and I do mean some of us, want more wood and wooden railway, this is not what we had in mind, Mattel. I honestly didn't mind some of the plastic in certain models because it wouldn't be impossible to make every single part out of wood. Number 2. No domes. What happened to their domes? The engines look so incomplete without them because it makes them less 3D. Sure, not all steam engines have domes, but still. And to quote Gordon, never trust domeless engines, they are not respectable. Oh, and by the way, this leads to number 3. Why do the bigger tender engines and diesels have to have 6 wheels instead of 8? I know some people didn't like the plastic bogies, but personally, I didn't mind them because they're cheaper than the wooden ones. Also, why are their tenders so blocky? In fact, why do the engines themselves look so blocky and bulky too? That's just lazy, man. Speaking of, when I first heard that Steven was going to have a separate tender version, I was pretty excited. That is until I saw this. Oh, and the coal's now flattened. That might be a reference to the 1992 tender engines, but I still would have preferred the 3-dimensional coal tenders because they're much more realistic than the newer wood ones. Number 4. The coaches and buses are now cut up in half so that you can put an articulated passenger in the middle. I don't mind if Brio does this sort of thing to some of their models, but it's Thomas the freaking Tank Engine! I mean, why cut them up when I can just use my freaking imagination to put the passengers inside them? Now I'm worried about what the slip coaches are going to look like in wooden form. Number 5. The humans and the animals. I know that Learning Curve did make articulated figures of Sir Topham Hatt and Lady Hat, but at least they tried to look like their original TV series counterparts. Here, the humans look like they're from a different TV show altogether. I even hate how the faces look. If Mattel wants to make flexible human beings, couldn't they at least remake the open-topped carriages to put them in, instead of cutting up Annie and Clarabelle like they're gutted fish? Oh yeah, and the new animals look awful too. I prefer the original static wooden ones, thank you very much. Number 6. As mentioned earlier, Mattel is drastically changing the track connectors so that it'll be less compatible to the original wooden railway system and other brands. I get that they're trying to make it easier for kids to connect track without the use of adapters, but in my opinion, the old wooden railway track will always be better because at least it's compatible to Brio, Imaginarium, and other brands of wooden trains. Besides, The new wood track just looks ugly and weird. Number 7. The new title itself. Thomas Wood. Thomas Wood. Thomas Wood. Thomas Wood! That's like calling the Adventure series Thomas Plastic Metal, or the new Trapmaster system Thomas Electric. This has got to be the laziest title change I have ever seen in my life. What, is the original title too long for the kiddies to read? And finally, number 8. What angers me most about Thomas Wood is that it's replacing Thomas Wooden Railway. Not only that this is the absolute worst successor in existence, but it's also the absolute worst Thomas range I have ever seen in my life. Say what you will about the overhauls of 2002 and 2013, but at least they tried to put more effort and detail into the models and sets. This is inexcusably lazy, and Mattel should know better than to do this. And yes, I know I'm going to get a lot of idiots out there who are just going to tell me, oh, but Trevor, it's for kids, blah, blah, blah. I don't care if this is for kids. I think kids deserve better quality toys than this. Honestly, I really wanted to get Yang Bao and Merlin in their wooden railway forms. But sadly, that's not happening. That's not happening. All because of Mattel's stupid decision to replace Thomas Wooden Railway with this horrible successor. Come on, Mattel. I know you could do better than this. You can do better than Thomas Wood. I mean, you were doing perfectly fine from 2013 to early 2017, but now you want to go to a new dark age for Thomas again? And no, I do not recommend Thomas Wood to anybody, not even to your own child, because it is that pitiful. Don't waste your money on this garbage. Spend money on minis and adventures instead, because those are actually much better than Wood. I'm not going to buy myself any of this stuff either, except maybe the Wood adapters that connect from the old track to the new track, as well as the candy cars, but only to repaint them just so that they look finished. The rest of the Wood items I'd rather feed to the fire and termites. And I think I've rambled on quite enough. This has been my top 8 reasons on why I hate Thomas Wood so much. I hope you've enjoyed it. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. And as for the Big World Big Adventures thing, I'm pretty sure it won't be all bad, but I am very mixed on it so far, so that's why I'm willing to give it a chance. Anyway, this is Trevor Davis, and I hope you have a happy new year.